Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Welcome Grove Homestead. It has been a hot minute since I posted a vlog. This is probably going to get released in between kidding videos, so there's going to be some crazy timeline stuff happening here, but man, it has been a crazy past couple of weeks. Well, it's milking time, so I'm going to get started on that, and we'll kind of catch you guys up. So it has been a couple of weeks since I have filmed or released any vlogging videos because this farm has been flat out insane for the past couple of weeks. Like, I have been so busy that I am pretty much running constantly, and then at the end of the day I'm just so exhausted I fall asleep. So it's been a really rough couple of weeks. We had some really heavy hits, as well as it was just like problem solving and troubleshooting, one thing after the next. We did unfortunately lose 2 baby goats. First time we've ever lost any babies before. It was really hard. We also had issues with cows getting out and running all over the property. Not all the cows, all the beef cows. So we have separated our herd into the cattle that are going to the processor in the next handful of weeks. And so we had them separated so that we could grain finish them. And they have been just finding every possible weak link in the fence. It has been super fun, guys.
So, me and Mom, we strung a whole electric fence around the inside so that hopefully that keeps them from getting out.
Yes, we did that yesterday. We put a hot wire on the inside of the fence. Hopefully that will keep them from testing it anymore. And it's not even that, like, there were holes or gaps in the fence. It was that, oh, it's an old fencing staple that pulled out. Or, oh, here's just an old strand of wire that they pushed on and it gave way. Like, it's just, some weaknesses just come with an older property and have to work around that.
Yeah. Thank you for your button, my babe. Oh my god. It's so big.
She's so full in the mornings and her teeth are so spread out. I can't milk both at the same time.
Yeah,
until one gets,
the bucket can
like,
hold it.
Yeah, until one goes down a little bit because they point too far apart.
Her udder is that big.
So Kitty has been a dark horse this year. Last year, those babies are super loud. Sorry, guys. Last year, Kitty was, I think we were lucky if we got like a quart out of Kitty in a milking.
Yeah.
And the other day, I took her milk aside separately from all the other goats and like measured how much it was. And she made like, so I use half-gallon mason jars. She filled a whole jar plus a half a jar by herself in one milking. So we are not yet doing full-time milking. So I milk the goats twice a day, but they have their babies on them. So the night milk is significantly reduced. Oh, I know, it hurts. So with this dramatic increase in her milk production between lactations, we are seeing a few challenges that she has in that her udder is significantly larger this year than it was last year. And I think that to some extent she's really pushing the limits of her tissue. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to work with that moving forward. Because we are starting to see a little bit of blood tinged in her milk. Hopefully this is something that's going to kind of resolve itself as lactation goes on and her tissue gets used to being that stretched out and full. But I mean, the big thing is to continue to try and be consistent with milking and milk every 12 hours and things like that.
It is so big.
So, one of the things in the long list of issues and things we need to troubleshoot is that I am seeing evidence of mites on the goats. I can show you guys on Betsy here in a minute. But that means that today everyone is going to get treated for mites, and that includes an injection of ivermectin. So, yay for pokes. Now, I will be releasing a instructional how-to video on how to give a subcutaneous injection to a goat. So that's going to be filmed with and separate from this treatment today. Okay, so here's Miss Betsy, and here's how we know that we have mites. If we look at her legs, we've got some balding. And it's really bad here on her back legs. So you can see the bald patches. Those are symptoms of her scratching and itching really bad. And I'm seeing these symptoms on multiple goats. So we have mites. Alright, it has actually been a few hours since I was injecting everybody with ivermectin and milking. We have been kind of busy, but no, it's kind of raining now off and on. But Audrey and I just did some disbudding on a few more of our Nigerian babies. So everyone except for the youngest 3 babies have been disbudded. So, I do not love disbudding, guys. Like, I absolutely loathe horns, so I will not keep a horned goat. So I have to do the disbudding. As much as I hate doing it, like, it's not a fun day, but it is absolutely necessary for the safety of these animals. And there are people who feel differently upon that subject. There are some people who like the horns, or are people who don't like the horns. I am firmly in the category of not liking the horns, so I do that. I just also don't enjoy doing it. It's not fun. I do enjoy, though, when like weeks go by and no skirts come in and it's like, yes, I did a good job on it. Like, it was worth it because I don't have to do it again, or, you know, things like that. So, babies, no horns, sad babies, and sad haircuts. But, I mean, the 4 that we just did, they're gonna act like nothing ever happened in like 10 minutes, so they'll be fine. Alright, so we just got our little bunnies moved. That's exciting. It's not delayed. I think we're pretty well on schedule with getting those guys moved. But it's really satisfying when you get to move out like a big bunch of bunnies and they're all like, oh, what do we do? And then they start learning how to eat the grass and move around, and it's awesome. So super exciting getting them out, getting them growing. We've got more litters on the way. All the does are bred back, hopefully, supposedly. So now I'm headed up to milk the goats for the end of my day, because every day begins and ends with milking. That is the story of having dairy animals. You know, getting back into this whole vlogging thing and trying to stay on top of having a camera in your hand is really hard. So it's been a few days actually, really, since I started filming this video. Things are just constantly happening, and I don't always have time to grab the camera for everything. But today, another thing happened and is kind of continuing to happen. So when we first moved onto this place, we bought 4 Holstein calves. They were bottle babies. We raised them up. Our original plan was to sell them as bred heifers. However, the market for bred heifers is underwhelming. Basically, these animals are worth a lot more dead than alive. So we are selling them as beef shares instead. And we are in the process of picking up some new calves to raise up for beef in 2 years. And this summer we're going to be breeding our 3 beef cows, heifers. There's 2 heifers and a cow. We'll be breeding our beef girls to have calves next spring, and they'll be supplying those. So part of that process of picking up new calves is that I have picked up a new calf. We have 2 more arriving later this evening, but right now I have to get to work on our evening chores and milking. But who doesn't want to see a baby? Because they're adorable. Hey, little buddy. This little guy, we are still going round and round on names, but Audrey wants to name him Ham. So he's 4 weeks old, so he's not a newborn. But right now, everything is just scary. So we're gonna try and give him his space. We'll give him his bottle in a little bit. But he still has some auction glue on his fur. That'll come off eventually. But I'm gonna go milk the goats. So it's funny how warped your like sense of how things are can be. Like, our bottle calves that we raised were Holsteins, and Holsteins are big and lanky, and we're actually picking up 2 more Holstein bull calves this evening because the calf market, the beef market, the cow market has gone crazy lately. So calves are harder to come by, and especially beef calves are already a little trickier to come by because they're usually raised on mom, not on bottles. And so picking up these Holstein calves, and the plan is that we will steer them. We will remove the horns off of one of them is horned and one is polled. So I'm going to take the horns off of the one that has horns because that is not a thing anymore. We will not be having horns on this farm. And so we will raise those guys up, and they will be beef shares in 2 years. So I think that update is something that I'm going to go ahead and save for our next video, because this one is getting kind of crazy. So right now I am rounding up babies for their baby goats for their overnight lockup, and then I'm gonna get milking and call it a night. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, this is your country nerd with a goat herd, saying that you can grow where you're planted.